Hi, I'm your host, Lykz. Welcome to Lykz Tells ALL. Today's the first episode, so I thought it would only be best for you guys to get to know me by a Q&A. A couple days ago, I posted a link on my Instagram for you guys to ask me questions, and today I'm going to answer them. Also, I want to say thank you guys to everybody who's just been so supportive. A little reminder that this podcast is my thoughts, my opinions, and things that happen to me. If you have anything otherwise to say, you don't have to watch and you can stop now. This episode will probably be a little shorter than ones in the future with guests and heavier topics. Let's get started. Question 1, advice for incoming freshmen. I'm assuming they're talking about college. My biggest advice for incoming freshmen is to watch how much you're partying. I know everybody wants to do it, especially because once you get to college, it's so fun. But that's coming from somebody that's supposed to be done next month, and now I have an extra year plus some, which doesn't just take time and energy, it took a lot of my money. I love school and I'm not too upset, but I am a little sad that I let partying get in the way of my education a little. I also feel like partying didn't just get in the way of my education, it also got in the way of my mental health. There are many reasons why I was so low last year, however, drinking so heavily did not help the situation. I say to use partying as like a reward system. I feel like that's the best way and you'll feel good about it after. So let's say you studied 3 hours that day. Let's say you went to all your classes, got a good grade on your exam, then you reward yourself with partying with your friends. Not partying every single day because you don't want to do your school like I did. Biggest party mistake. My biggest party mistake is going out with people you don't trust. I went out last year with a group I didn't trust and ended up in a bad situation. Last year, I went out with a group of girls I really thought I could trust, and this is before I did form my group of girls I could trust. We went to my favorite frat and I ended up being left alone. I probably convinced them I was fine alone. However, this was my first couple months at Wazoo. I ended up texting a friend I knew upstairs saying I wanted to go home. I ended up going back to their place instead of going home. Story goes on. However, this wouldn't have happened if I went with a group of people I did trust. Party mistakes happen when you aren't being responsible, and I feel like trust is a really big part in that. Question 3 is last time you cried. Last time I cried was the other day. I feel like I don't cry that often. When I do cry, it's because I'm very overstimulated. The other day, I was just having so many emotions and I was missing an old friend. I was feeling all these feelings and it was just a lot. Okay. Mom and Dad, the episode is over. Thank you for watching. Now that they're gone, when and how did you lose your virginity? I think I lost my virginity at a really okay time in life. I hear how these kids are losing their virginity at 13 and 14, and it blows my mind because I'm like, do you even know what is happening in that moment? Do you truly know what intercourse is? But not my business. I was raised by great parents, and I feel like I was very educated on what was going to be happening. I lost mine at 17 with somebody I will always love, which I am glad I waited till I loved that person. The how and where is something I'm not too proud of. It was in public, and we'll just leave it at that. Advice for high school in a small town or high school in general. My biggest advice for high school in a small town is just to watch who you're close with and mainly who they're close with. You could be having a best friend that you tell everything to, and their best friend is actually somebody who doesn't have the best intentions for you or who just is plain out jealous of you. I feel like high school is so hard in general. You're dealing with yourself growing up. You could be dealing with family, school, sports. And when drama gets mixed, it just becomes a huge mess. I overall had a great high school experience, except when it came to the middle. The end of my sophomore year to the beginning of my senior year was a complete shit show. But it was because I was trusting people who were also trusting other people. So keep that in mind because not everybody wants the best things for you. Some people are plain out vicious, and you got to keep that in mind because it is a scary world we live in. Another advice is to be involved in everything. I feel like that's how you get the most of it, and you're only there for 4 years. Do you believe in TMI? And honestly, no. I'm personally somebody who doesn't get embarrassed easily, so I'm up for any conversation. I do think there is a boundary when I'm talking about personal details, like with my family. However, my friends, they're in for all of it. There is no TMI there. Fun ways to study. I love that you asked me, and I wish I had a good answer, but I really don't. There are so many creative ways on TikTok, but honestly, just like ChatGPT and I are like this. I will say my friend gave me this website where you can create your notes into a podcast, and that really did help my first closed note exam. Do you have a BBL? No. If anybody would like to pay, I am all for it. Friendship breakup story time spill. I feel like you guys have been waiting to ask this, and I'm ready to tell. I'm gonna get a little comfy for this. for me, I understand growing out of a friendship. I understand you can be best friends and then you're just friends later on. Like, I get it. But there's two situations that necessarily didn't happen like that. The first friendship breakup that had such an impact on my life was a friendship that turned into a disaster and still is. This girl became my friend because her best friend was my friend. Her best friend became a big sister to me, and still I love her till this day. We did become friends and it was amazing. We had a good friendship. But then it was her best friend and I got into a little something, so we got into something. And then it just became a mess. Her mom ended up texting me saying that I need to be nicer and I can't be mean, even though she's 2 years older than me. She started to bully me with the power she had as a leader on a sport. We ended up talking. She apologized. I thought we were good. Then she started dating my guy best friend, who I supported and loved so much. Then it turned into I can't support my guy best friend because she didn't like me, even though I thought we were already over that, over her bullying me. Now here I am at college, almost done, and she's still talking about me, and she's probably still watching. So, hi, babe. I have nothing bad to say about you. I hope you do well in life. Away from me. Now, the friendship breakup I had this summer changed my life, and I feel like it still affects me till this day. It's so hard because I feel like I go back and forth all the time wondering if it was just a one-sided relationship, if I was really her best friend, or if she was really just mine. But I know it was. I know we both were each other's other halves for so long. I don't want to say anything negative. I love her. I feel like I will always cheer for her. I don't necessarily agree with things that have been said about me or the way that things have happened, but I've been in a relationship where I've been isolated from my friends, and it's not a good feeling. I really do hope that years later we can have a conversation and everything can be seen. But until then, I wish her nothing but the best. I know that's not necessarily the story time that you guys are looking for, and I'd love to give you the receipts and facts of what actually happened, but I want to grow from this. I have so many trust issues and walls that are up now that I want to work through. She's okay with moving on, and I need to do the same. Next question. Most embarrassing drunk story. My most embarrassing drunk story makes me never want to drink again. It was on my last birthday, and I'm walking to go to one of the frats, and a different group of guys are on their way to the bars, I'm assuming. One of the guys in this group tells me happy birthday, and I lose it because I think he's attractive. I scream, "Is that who I think that is?" And everybody heard me. I think all of Greek Row heard me. I would like to think that he didn't hear me and that he didn't think I was talking about him. And I'm going to stay right there in Delululand. Last question, and that is thoughts on long-distance relationships. I'm all for them if you can make them work. I personally tried long distance and I couldn't make it work. I do believe if it's the right person, it will work and no distance will change that. However, I'm also a firm believer if they are the right person, you will find your way back to them. Long distance is hard and it isn't for everybody, but if you can make it work, that is amazing. That is it for the Q&A. I hope you guys had a good listen or watch. Make sure you follow my Instagram at Lykz Tells ALL and let me know your thoughts about what should be talked about next.